welcome to the third little mini update for Summer Sock Camp 2024. My name's Gemma. I have a creative weekly video podcast here on my channel where I share all the things I've been making, so knitting, cross-stitch sewing, and I've started this little bonus series, if you will, alongside it, chronicling my adventures with Summer Sock Camp. So it's not my make-along, it's hosted by Kay, the crazy sock lady. It's phenomenally popular. I think most people have heard of it by now, but if you haven't, it's basically for the summer season, while school's out in the US, we do a sock camp, as it were, because obviously in the US people go to camps and things, don't they? And it started off with cabins and things like that, and goals and badges and all sorts. But it's kind of evolved over the years, and this year it's super casual. There's not really many rules. You can knit, you can crochet, you can use whips, you can do any size sock. I think it has to be done by hand. I'm not sure machine knit socks count, but I think that might be the only thing. It doesn't have to be Kay's patterns, although it's obviously lovely to do that and to support her. So it's just basically a summer of knitting socks, and this year is my first year joining in properly, so for posterity, for fun to look back on, I'm recording my adventures. So here we are, third episode. This time I have 2 finishes to show you, and 2 half socks as well. But very excitingly, I have started my very first box of socks. As I got the 3rd pair off the needles, I thought to myself, I could actually do this. I could actually get a pretty box and store my socks in them, ready for when sock camp's over and when the autumn starts and I want to start wearing them. And I'm going to open my very own box of socks. And yeah, I got the 3rd sock pair off the needles. I thought, all right, this is it. This is the week I'm doing it. So here we are. Here's my box. It's a really lovely one. I think I got it from, I want to say I got it from Wilkinson's. Let's have a look. No, Tesco's. So I got this from Tesco's donkeys years ago, probably about 8-9 years ago. I got this and a ring binder, I think. I love a bit of stationery, and I do like this kind of shabby chic look. And this was really in at the time, almost sort of Alice in Wonderland-y. You've got, the Crown, Big Ben, that sort of thing. How is that Westminster or House of Parliament? Westminster, I think. Westminster Abbey. Or St Paul's Cathedral, one of the two, with the floor and things like that. So I just thought that was lovely. I thought it was really nice. And it had been storing special stationery in it, but today I actually emptied it out, as you would have seen at the top of the episode, and started creating my very own box of socks. And this is it so far. Isn't it cute? There's lots of blue and green in there. So there's a spoiler. Last time I saw you, I'd finished these socks. I showed you those already. And since then, I have finished my middle of Lidl socks. I absolutely love them. They're not my first DK pair I've knit. They're on a bit of a wonk there. They're not my first DK pair I've knit, double knitting weight. I've knit a few others before, and to be honest, it was revelatory. I'm like, why wouldn't you always knit DK socks? They're so much faster. I can knock out a sock in a day. How fun is that? So yeah, these are the middle of Lidl. I've tried them on. I've taken a slightly dodgy picture of them, and I love them. I'm so pleased with them. I was that pleased that I immediately cast on another pair of DK socks from my yarn basket. So this was balls 1 and 2 out of my basket. To be fair, I've got these out of 175 gram ball, and I've still got leftovers. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do another pair for myself or do a pair for my husband. We'll see. But I don't want to knit in the same yarn straight away again, so I've tucked it to one side for now. But there is the yarn for another pair in here. Overall, I think this yarn's great. It's brilliant value, obviously coming from the middle of Lidl. It wasn't very expensive. I think it was $4.99 for the 275 gram balls, which is excellent. It's wool, so it's proper wool and nylon. The patterning is beautiful. I particularly like these speckles that are fairly kind of rigidly put in. It almost looks a little bit like flea stitch, I guess. And yeah, as you can see, I think I've managed to reverse them. Yeah, I've reversed them. So they're definitely not sisters. They're definitely sisters, not twins. Nothing identical about these at all. But yeah, there we go. I'm really pleased with them. I'm so pleased with them. Oh, right. So while I'm getting the next pair ready to show you, are any of you joining in with sock camp, or what are you knitting on at the moment in the summer? It is very warm down here. It's very warm here in the English Riviera, which is Torquay, Devon. We did get to the point where it was uncomfortably hot earlier in the week, and I did have a good old moan about that on the podcast. I'm not going to talk about that now, but we've got a nice breeze. It's much more bearable now. I think we've gotten a bit used to it as well. So I'm back with the knitting. Although, to be fair, I didn't really put anything down. I kept knitting socks. Speaking of which, feels like summer. Fancy a cocktail? Perhaps a mojito? I really like these. They're such a fun colour. So this is the Mojito colourway from West Yorkshire Spinners. You can, I believe, still get this in some places in the 4-ply. You cannot, however, get it in this DK. I think it was called Air DK. It's long discontinued. I've been hunting for a colourway called Sherbet Fizz, and I can't find it anywhere. I think I can potentially find it abroad for quite a price because obviously, supply and demand. And obviously then you've got the shipping as well to pay for. So I don't think Sherbet Fizz is going to make it into my collection, but I do love Mojito. Mojito was actually the first colourway I ever used from West Yorkshire Spinners in their sock yarn, although that was the signature 4-ply. So I've done these in under a week. I cast off the second middle of Little Sock and I got straight on with these, and I think I did one of them in like 24 hours. It was a little bit bonkers because I've been knitting on other things as well in the meantime. You have to excuse my voice. I'm suffering a little bit with hay fever, but also my son's had a bit of a cold and he's given it to me, and I thought I was getting better, but apparently I'm incredibly husky. So there we are, enjoy that. And now I have sock fluff in my mouth, so it's not very pleasant. So there we go. That is my third pair of the needles for Summer Sock Camp 2024. So those are now very proudly in my box of socks. I'm so thrilled with them. I'm not sure if I'm just going to have this as my box of socks or if I'm going to put all the socks that I knit during Summer Sock Camp in here and then divvy out the socks at the end, because there are socks for other people going in that are being done this Summer Sock Camp as well. Right, so on to works in progress. Having cast off that double knitting weight sock, I immediately cast on for another one. Here we go. It is, again, from my basket of yarn for summer. This is King Cole. This bit of hair is really there we go. That's better. This is King Cole Tropical Beaches DK. It's acrylic and polyamide, so acrylic and nylon. So there's no wool in here at all, but I don't mind that. It's a really meaningful colourway to me because it's called Lara Beach. I've done some research, and Lara Beach is actually a beach in Turkey. Yeah. And there we go. It's really beautiful. This is a 200 gram ball, 510 metres. You get a lot of meterage on this. And I immediately started the sock. I actually cast off on Saturday, the 29th of June. I did the grafting of the toe on the Mojito one, and I immediately cast on the Lara Beach sock. And this is what I did yesterday. Bearing in mind we're out and about, and we had other things going on as well. Isn't that beautiful? Look at those, out of the way, needle. Look at those colours. Aren't they lovely? They're very tropical, aren't they? You can see why it's called Tropical Beaches. The yarn itself is really lovely to knit with. I'm really enjoying it. And as you can see, I've done the cuff, the leg, the heel flap, and I've started on the gusset, all since yesterday. It's going so quickly. I absolutely love knitting DK socks. It'd be nice to add some slightly different colours to my sock box as well, because it was looking very blue and green. Yeah, it's all very bright and cheerful, isn't it, though? It's very bright and cheerful. So this pair is going to be for me, but I'm actually going to knit a pair for my husband and my son out of this yarn. I don't have any other double knitting weight sock yarn ready to go. So I think after I've done mine, I probably will put my husband's on the needles. And then if I'm not completely sick of using the colour after that, I will put my son's on as well. So yeah, I'm really, really enjoying that. But it's not all double knitting weight socks. I have also put some work on my 52 weeks of socks knit along sock. This is the March or April pattern. Might be March, I think. Quite possibly be March. But I have actually started working on it again. So I've been using that. I was using that Tiny Decisions app that I shared with you a couple of weeks ago. And the sock came up, and it was really good because it was in the evenings, and I hadn't been reaching for it because there is a lace pattern. And while it's not terribly difficult, it does warrant some concentration, and it just wasn't something that I was reaching for by the time my son had gone to bed and I had some downtime. I just wasn't reaching for it. So because I hadn't been reaching for it, I'd forgotten how much I was enjoying it. And so when it came up on the app and I started knitting it, I was like, oh, this is amazing. This is so much fun. So I ended up, I'm not using the app at the moment. I haven't used the app in about 4 days now. It's kicked my mojo back into touch. It's got it going again. It's really revved it up. So I just want to make all the things, and I'm really enjoying my making again. And I'm in the habit now of making time and not doom scrolling. So I've not been using it, and for the last evening or two I've been working on, I put quite a bit of work on it this morning. I've been reaching for this because it's so enjoyable. Yes, it's lace. Yes, it needs a little bit of concentration, but as long as you tick off the rows, it's not that difficult. And I'm so loving it. So I can't think last time I'd done the leg and I was starting the heel flap, but I've now done all of this. So I've done the gusset and I'm now working down the foot. Now this sock blocker is right for my foot, so you can actually see I really don't have very far left to go. I've got another couple of inches and then the toe decreases, and this will be a half object. Now I'm going to twist it round because you can't see the lace very well when it's sat correctly on the blocker, but there we are. I just think that's so pretty and so effective. So the yarn is from Skein and the Stitch, that's Jess. It's Amethyst, which is the birthstone for February, which is why I chose it, because it's the it's Lara's birthstone. And we were casting this on in March, which is her anniversary month, so it's really meaningful. So I've got 2 kind of Lara socks going on this summer, which is really nice as well. So yeah, I absolutely love it. I know there's been a bit of debate in the group, because if you look at the cuff is the cuff, and then when you get to the lace, it creates this bump. I actually quite like it. I don't mind it at all. I know some people have opted to do the cuff as normal and then put the lace from underneath the cuff, underneath the rib, but I think it's nice to have something a bit different and a bit unusual. So there we go. That's that sock. And that is from the 52 Weeks of Socks book. There we go. So that is available from various yarn shops. You can get it from Search Press and Amazon as well, if you are that way inclined. So there we are. There's my sock progress. I think we're now 5 weeks in. It started on the 24th of May, and today is the 30th of June. So I know some people have knit loads and loads of socks in that time. I've knit loads for me, and it's not a race. It's about having fun and enjoying yourself. I think I was watching Kay's latest video. Oh, that woman's socks are amazing. And she's knit up 48 pairs this year or something like that. And I was trying to do the math. I was like, that's, it's 2 a week. That's so incredible. But yeah, and just the joy she gets from it is really inspiring, and it's certainly re-sparked my love of socks. And I love socks anyway, but I'm having an absolute whale of a time with this. And I'm already thinking about, I really want to get these off the needles because I want to cast on another pair from my basket. I want to use my Giddy Yarns one, which is that beautiful cherry blossom gobstopper ball. So actually, talking about socks, this weekend I'm travelling for work. I'm going back to Kent because I'm going to Search Press HQ for a meeting. I'm going to be staying with my friend Mina, the knitting expat, and so I'm going to have some knitting time in the evenings. And the weekend after that, the 13th and 14th of July, is Yarningham, and I will be there supporting Mina, who has a designer showcase stand. I've dyed some kits for her patterns, and I'm going to be dyeing some sock yarns this week to go along with her sock patterns. But yeah, I'm going to have lots of knitting time then. So do I just cast on all the socks to take with me? Do I just help myself to things out of my sock basket? Let me know what you think. I'm not sure when the next update video will be. Next week is going to be the 100 Days Project update video on the Sunday, and that obviously recorded before I go. But the week after, I don't think I'll have time because I'm away from the Friday. I'm really not around much, so there might not be an update video on Yarning and Weekend, but the podcast will obviously continue as usual on a Wednesday, because that seems to be my upload now. I seem to be uploading on a Sunday and a Wednesday. Anyway, I hope you're well. I hope you are enjoying your summer making, whether it's winter where you are or summer where you are, depending which hemisphere you're watching from. If you've got any questions about socks, let me know. I know some people are asking me about my vanilla pattern. My plan is for that to come out at the beginning of August. There we go. So, thank you very much for joining me. Have a lovely, lovely week or a few days until I see you again if you view the podcast, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.